Hi there, this is Bonnie, and welcome to my Tucker Hill Home Kitchen. Listen, a lot of people don't like vegetables because they think they're boring. But you know what? They don't have to be. And one of my favorite vegetables is Brussels sprouts. And I'm going to show you how to make these so they're not boring and they are oh so tasty using some kind of unusual ingredients to add to the Brussels sprouts. So we're going to roast these off today. And of course, what you're going to need are your Brussels sprouts, salt, I use a sea salt, a coarse ground black pepper, olive oil, of course, and here's the little kickers. I'm going to use a dried date. The dates give them a flavor that just kind of sends them over the top. And in addition to that, I'm going to be adding red onion. Now, to top it off, I'm also going to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese. We're going to put that on the top and roast it off, and it's going to be also yummy. So first what you're going to do is you're going to oil the bottom of a cookie sheet like I'm doing here, and be a little bit generous because you're going to want these Brussels sprouts to have a nice crisp flavor texture to them once they're cooked off. So what I'm doing is I have already washed my Brussels sprouts and I'm cutting them in quarters like I'm doing here. I'm going to add those to your cookie sheet. Now, if they're smaller Brussels sprouts, you can cut them in half, but these are nice and large. And one of the other things too, I notice a lot of people when I go to the market sometimes, and I always chide the produce manager to leave all the little green things on, because all these green leaves, the same with cabbage, that's where all of your nutrients are. So you want to make sure you don't get rid of that because you're throwing away all the good stuff. So we're going to take these and cut them up, put them on a cookie sheet. And while we're doing this, you're going to go ahead and preheat your oven to 425 degrees. It depends on how your oven heats up. Ovens are calibrated at different temperatures, and sometimes, for instance, a 400-degree oven for my oven might be 375 for yours. So it's important that when you are cooking or roasting something off, that you kind of get to know your oven, because your oven is your friend. So we're going to go ahead and finish cutting these off. And I think I might have just enough for hubby and myself. I'm going to be making this for Sunday supper today. Maybe I'll do a couple more because I love Brussels sprouts. And then we'll do one for the road. Look at that. Isn't that a pretty one? All those beautiful leaves. You don't want to throw those off. I know a lot of times people will take them all the way down to where they're white, and they're not as flavorful also when you take away the green. And this is what it's going to look like once you get it to this point. So I'm going to set this aside. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to add your onion. Now you want to take this onion and cut it into very, very fine strips, almost shaving it. You see how I'm doing this? Cut them very, very fine like so. And about a half of red onion should be enough for a half cookie sheet. That's the size that we're going to be using. And you take these and you sprinkle them all over the tops of the cut Brussels sprouts. And then you're going to add your dates. Now I cut these up into, take a date that's about this size and I cut it up into quarters. I first cut it down center and then cut it in half. So we're going to add these. This is such a delicious, delicious dish. And sometimes for an extra kick, which I'll probably do today, is I love pomegranate molasses. And You can pick that up off of your grocery shelf if you have a gourmet store that you shop at. And if you don't have it, what I find typically is if you ask your grocer, if you ask them to bring in an item, they will, because the idea is they want you to come back and not go anywhere else. So if you don't see an item that you like, ask them. They'll usually bring it in. And that way you don't have to go running all over the place looking for stuff. You can have it available when you shop. So I'm going to add maybe 2 more of these so that we have some nice flavor in there. And that should do it. And after you do that, then you're going to go ahead and sprinkle. You can also use kosher salt. I'm going to use sea salt for this, but give it a generous amount, not too much. You don't want it salty. You want to make sure it's nice and flavorful. So I'm going to do like 3 of these little fingerfuls like that. And then I'm going to do my black pepper. I love spice, so I will not do as much with salt, but certainly with things like black pepper and herbs, I make sure that I'm very generous. And then we're going to take the olive oil. And this is where you're going to drizzle this back and forth so that you give this a nice coating. And as you're baking this, you're going to take your spatula, you're going to pull it out about halfway. You're going to be baking this probably a good 25 to 30 minutes. And that's about 1/4 cup of olive oil. And once you, about halfway, you're going to take it and turn them. And then if you need to put a little bit more olive oil, you can add more at that time. And the last ingredient is going to be your parm. And this is going to be, again, about 1/4 cup of the Parmigiano Reggiano. And you sprinkle that on top. And we're going to roast these off, and we'll come back and see what it looks like. And there you have it, my roasted Brussels sprouts with dates and red onions. And we also are going to add just a little drizzle of the pomegranate molasses because it gives it a nice little kick. So listen, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and for additional recipes, you can always pick up my cookbook, Farm Girl in the City, Food and Love. It's available on Amazon, at your favorite bookstore, and you can also get an autographed copy from my website, tuckerhillhome.com. Until next time, I'll see you then.